All right, what up, everybody? That was fun week one, that is for sure. We're back here. I think we're going to do some week two predictions for all these games. Our week one went pretty decent, I feel like. There's a lot of interesting games, couple big surprises. The one that really sticks out to me was the Colts-Dolphins game, man. That blew my mind. Daniel Jones looks awesome, and Tua and them look like they can't even find their ass with both hands.
Yeah, man, garbage. I don't think I've ever seen Miami walk out and just make me feel that down bad about what they just did. I feel like usually Miami starts a little bit slow, but that was bad. Like really, really bad.
No, yeah, unexcusable loss for Miami. The Bills game was absolutely amazing. That fourth quarter was awesome. And Monday night game, man, that was an awesome fourth quarter, seeing JJ break out. I'm kind of shocked that Ben Johnson lost that game like that, but I'm not shocked that the Bears and Caleb Johnson in general lost that game like that. Or Caleb Williams, excuse me.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. That was really surprising because they had a grip of that game for quite a while there, and then just to let it go late in the game like that obviously stinks. But yeah, no, I think NFL's finally sick of hearing everybody talk shit about the Thursday night game and the Monday night game, about how they always put these stinky teams on prime time. I think now they're going to finally put some fun games on prime time and give us our worth.
Yeah, speaking of which, rolling right into week two, Thursday night is Commanders visiting Green Bay. I can't think of a much better Thursday night matchup than that. The Packers looked unbelievably good last week. Their defense, I mean, they just shut down the Lions and anything they tried to do. The Packers honestly scare me really bad. I think that they might end up being the number one team in the NFC after just seeing 1 week. I know that's a huge overreaction, but at the same time, they scared me that bad. So I'm definitely going to take them minus 3.5 points at home over the Commanders this weekend.
For sure. You know, the Packers showed me enough last week that I was really impressed by their play, and all the way around, they just looked like a solid football team. Regardless of the fact that they just took a great wide receiver to help add to their core in the first round. Dude had 4 targets.
They didn't even need to use them.
No, they didn't use any of them, hardly. You know, I know Tucker Kraft caught a few, but even then, like, Jordan Love didn't do that much.
No, they were just possessing the ball and winning the game.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. Taking Packers, 3.5.
Sunday noon games, Bills visiting the Jets. You know, like we just said, the Bills had a huge statement win week one, and now they have the easiest remaining schedule in the AFC, according to some metric I saw on TV. But yeah, the Bills, though, I think they're going to be 8-0. I think they're going to sweep all the way through when they play Kansas City. They're going to beat the Jets this week. They're 6.5 point favorites on the road. I'm going to take them with the 6.5 points. It is kind of a large spread, but they gave me all the confidence in the world to bet with them.
For sure. It seems like a large spread, but in the grand scheme of things, a touchdown's really not that much with the Bills. With a team like the Jets that had a good week but isn't necessarily proven, I feel like the confidence of the Bills just kind of comes out there and steps on them.
Yeah, I fully agree with you on that.
On to the next one, we've got Patriots and Dolphins. And once again, for some reason, we got fooled last week into believing the Dolphins were hard. But they're favored this week against the Patriots. I know it's at home. Screw that. Dolphins look like shit. If I'm taking anybody in this game, I'm taking the Patriots, and I'm taking a plus 1.5. Patriots looked a lot better than the Dolphins, and they also played a tougher team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to take one step further than your plus 1.5 points. I'm taking the Patriots money line. It's plus 100 on the odds right now on BetMGM. I'll take the Patriots money line all day. They showed me a lot more than the Dolphins did. That's all I got to say. I'm not touching the Dolphins anytime soon.
Yeah, no way. And then we got another one where another team that kind of struggled last week in the Bengals. They're playing the Jaguars this week at home. This is really good money on the money line. They've also got that spread at 3.5. That is a little sketchy just based on the way that the Bengals played, but I think the Bengals come into a little bit more form this week. They cover that 4, and you can even take that money line too at minus 190. That's really sweet. So throw that into a parlay and don't even think twice.
Yeah, I'm going to hesitantly take the Bengals minus 3.5 points. This could end up being a Bengals win by like 2 or 3, and you get burned by half a point or so. I don't have any confidence in the Jaguars, to be honest with you. I know they won last week, but they were playing a really weak Panthers team that did not look good at all. Joe Burrow finally turns up this weekend, and him and Jamar Chase connect for a big one, and the Bengals win by a touchdown. That's what I'm going with.
Definitely. We got Browns and Ravens on the next one. This is a big spread at 12 points. I feel like it's fully justified, though, on the fact that the Ravens put up a lot of points on the Bills last week. The Browns, the core of their team is their defense, but it's not good enough to put up with the Ravens. and I fully see the Ravens taking off, running away. Take the money line, take the points. It's a lot of points, but you should survive.
Yeah, I'm really, really hesitant to take either of these teams with the points. Ravens are minus 800 money line, so it's almost pointless. But if you want to tack it on as the last leg on a big parlay, no harm in that at all. Obviously, the Ravens will win this game. 11.5 points is just tough, though. The Browns' defense looked pretty good against the Bengals' offense, but we all know the Bengals historically suck week one. So I don't know how much that played into a part of it. Is just the Bengals not playing well last week. But we all know that the Bengals' defense sucks, and the Browns were only able to score 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Like, point-wise, I know the Browns can't keep up with them. It's just a matter of if they can stop the Ravens from scoring an immense amount of points. So right now I'm going to stick with the Ravens minus 11.5. However, this is a game I'm probably just going to leave off all my bets this weekend. All right, next game, we got Giants visiting Dallas. Cowboys are 6-point favorites at home, and the Cowboys showed me a lot of things to be pretty optimistic about, honestly. Came into the season really down on them, but they looked really solid against the defending Super Bowl champs. So give me a breakout game for George Pickens and Dak, and Cowboys beat them by 14 or more.
Yeah, I'll just keep it light on this one because I pretty much fully agree with you. Cowboys came out and showed a lot of good. The Giants came out and we knew what their defense was going to be, but their offense was shit. I fully just expect the Cowboys to come out here and put down a dog show on them and show the Giants that they really stink.
Yeah, Rams and Titans. Titans are at home, and they are 5.5-point underdogs at home. This is another one. I feel like I'm just going to go ahead and pick the favorite of the Rams minus the 5.5 points. This is a game that I feel like it's going to be a 6 or 7 point Rams win. They're not going to blow them out, but Matthew Stafford and just the veteran team as a whole is going to pace the entire game. We saw the Titans defense play pretty damn good against the Broncos last week. However, Matthew Stafford is a much more mature game manager. They're not going to have the same mistakes the Broncos did that it's going to leave Tennessee in the game. The Rams are going to win by about a touchdown at the end of the day.
For sure. The Rams are clearly by far and away the better team here and doesn't put down what the Titans did last week against the Broncos, but they're nowhere near what the Rams are going to put up against them. And I think this is an easy Rams. They cover that 5.5. They also take that money line. That's something easy to throw onto a parlay at minus 250. That's pretty sweet. So yeah, stack that up, add it to everything.
Yeah, Rams money line is going to go on almost the end of almost all my parlays this weekend. Bears visiting Detroit, and Detroit is 6-point favorites at home. Bears, kind of a heartbreaking loss Monday night, and then the Lions just never got their engines going. They couldn't do anything offensively, or really defensively either for that matter, against Green Bay. I definitely think the Lions are going to win. However, the Bears do have a decent defense still. I'm interested to see how Jared Goff responds. He just looked piss poor.
Yeah, I think it just takes some time for guys to wrap around a new offense, and you can't under stress enough how hard it is to learn a playbook and another 500 plays that you didn't know before.
I can't imagine how hard that is.
It's going to take some time to sink in, and even if they struggle a little bit at the beginning of this game, I fully expect them to pull it off. Give me Lions, give me the 6, and I'm taking them on the money line all day. They should fully pull this one off, and you'll see the talent difference for sure.
Here's an interesting game. Seahawks visiting the Steelers. The Steelers are 3-point favorites at home. They were a big surprise to me last week anyways. I did not expect Aaron Rodgers to walk out there and throw 4 touchdowns and look half as decent as he did.
Aaron Rodgers looked like MVP Aaron Rodgers.
He really did.
Like discount double check Rodgers.
He looked great out there, man.
It was hard as hell.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do about this game. I think I'm going to take the Steelers minus the 3. They're 2.5-point spread, even though they did get the money line. I think this week the Seahawks, they don't have as much riding on this, whereas Justin Fields, it was kind of a revenge game for him as well. I think the Steelers win by 6-10.
I'm going to take the Steelers on this one. I'm taking that 3. I think they're going to win by 6. Chris Boswell's leg is fucking awesome. Yeah, give me the 3. I'm taking them on the money line. Steelers just look much better than Seahawks last week. Not to say that there's not something to build on for both of them, but Steelers are better.
Yeah, I think Steelers money line might be the play for me on this one, just to be safe. Steelers are minus 155 right now on money line. All right, the next game, 49ers visiting the Saints down in New Orleans. George Kittle got hurt. What's his name? Juwan Jennings got hurt.
Juwan Jennings is okay.
Well, Brock Purdy got hurt too. So we don't really know right now. The 49ers are 4.5-point favorites as of today. It's Tuesday. I want to take the 49ers regardless of if Purdy's playing, but there's so many injuries. The Saints actually kind of put on some competition against Arizona last week, surprisingly. I'm just going to take 49ers minus 225 money line, leave the spread alone this week. If I had to pick, though, I would still take the minus 4.5 with 49ers.
For sure. I'm not confident on who their backup quarterback is at this moment in time.
It's Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Based on what Mac Jones showed me last time in his limited amount of time, I feel perfectly fine taking the 49ers.
Yeah, they'll win the game regardless.
They're going to win the game. But that 4.5 it's definitely
a little
sketchy. They did just waive Jake Moody, which there's a lot of 49ers fans happy about that. I don't know if they cover that 4.5. Like you said, if you have to pick, I'm taking it too. Let's take Niners money line. Next up, we got Panthers-Cardinals. Panthers didn't do shit last week that showed me that they were going to be anything more than what they were at the beginning of last year. At the end of last year, they showed us some hope, but they've done that for the last 2 years, and I am tired of the bullshit. The Panthers suck ass. And the Cardinals, they're not very good either. They proved to show some pretty shitty work against a bad Saints team, or what we think is supposed to be a bad Saints team. Expect them to struggle just a little bit, but they'll definitely win this game on a very, very bad Panthers team that is definitely worse than the Saints at this moment in time, which is insane to say.
Yeah, no, it is insane to say, actually. But I agree. I think the Cardinals do cover the 6.5 point spread. I think they win by about 10 points. I don't think the Panthers put up much of a fight. We'll see. But right now, I'm just going to take the Cardinals minus 6.5. Okay, next game. I'm finally going to pick the underdog. I'm taking the Colts +2 at home against the Broncos. I'm tempted just to take him money line. Yeah, Daniel Jones looked good. We'll see what he does against a real defense. The Broncos just did not do it for me last week. I bet on them money line, and I was sweating them money line against the guy's first NFL start. So I'm taking the Colts +2 points this week.
I am going to go ahead and take the Broncos this week. I think that minus 130 money line against the Colts is embarrassing. We didn't show off last week like we should. So at least we pulled out the win last week. I see this week being a heck of a lot better against a better team in the Colts. I think we cover that too. That too is easy as heck. It's a field goal. I'm also taking the money line on the Broncos. Don't even hesitate. I know they made you sweat last week, but don't worry about it.
All right, the game of the week, Super Bowl rematch, Eagles visiting the Chiefs. The Eagles are 1-point favorites on the road. Normally, I would be really in a pickle with this, but I'm not even going to overthink this at all. I'm just going to take the Eagles -1. They looked considerably better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs could very, very easily start this season 0-2.
Definitely. I agree with you. They can easily start this season 0-2. They just don't have a lot at receiver. I mean, maybe Juju does what he did a couple years ago for him and shows up in a pretty good capacity and carries it over until everybody gets back.
Yeah, I mean, they leaned on Hollywood really hard last week, but...
I mean, Hollywood's somebody you're also worried about in terms of injury, too. You know, if you're
Facts.
giving him all that volume, like, who's to say he's going to stay healthy? But, yeah, I'm not overthinking this. Eagles looked way better. Chiefs took that L to the Chargers anyways. I know it wasn't in America, but Eagles are better. They look better. Taking them -1. I'm taking them on the money line.
All right, next game is the Sunday night game. Falcons visiting Minnesota. I'm going to take the Falcons +4.5 on the road, and I'm going to take the Vikings -225 money line for the Vikings winning another 2-3 point game, and the Falcons losing another 2 or 3 point game.
That one's tough.
It is tough. I almost want to just take the Falcons money line. The Falcons can easily win this game. Don't get this twisted. I just think it's going to be another Vikings. Kevin O'Connell out-coaches Raheem Morris, and he wins at the end again, and the Falcons lose at the end again. Some way, somehow. It seems these franchises, certain ones of them, always do this.
Yeah, no, because I want to take that spread money line on the Falcons really bad, but I'm going to follow you on the spread. I think the Falcons lose this one really, really close. I'm tempted to say the money line on the Falcons, but I just can't, especially not when they're not at home. Makes it infinitely harder. I feel like the Buccaneers are a better team than the Vikings, but with the Vikings at home, that just puts way more pressure on the Falcons, and I don't see them pulling it off. So give me the Falcons on the spread, but give me the Vikings on the money line.
The Buccaneers are 2.5 point underdogs on the road against the Texans. Dude, give me Baker all day, money line. Take them with the spread, 2.5 points. I'm taking Bucks all year long, pretty much. Baker just showed it last week. That's all you got to do. Just bet on the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks too. He came back. He had a great fight. I expect him to be more in shape this week. So I'm taking him on the spread. I'm taking him on the money line, and I expect him to beat the Texans. They just looked way better than the Texans all the way around.
Okay, last game of the week, 9 p.m. Central Time kickoff, which is crazy on a Monday night. Chargers visiting Vegas, 3.5-point favorites on the road. Both of these teams looked really good last week. I was high going in on both teams, really. I picked the Raiders for the win last week, but the Chargers surprised me with that upset of the Chiefs down in Brazil. I just think the Chargers just look too good not to take minus 3.5 points this week. They look legit. They look like they're potential contenders. I'm not trying to put them in the same category yet as the Bills or the Ravens, but I mean, they just beat the Chiefs, and they look damn good doing it. I'm taking them on the road minus 3.5, but look for this to be a good game because the Raiders, they were very impressive last week too.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. The Chargers are a much better team than the Patriots. I expect the Raiders to struggle a little bit more in this game. Like they didn't really at all against the Seahawks. They played a pretty good game. I expect the Chargers to take this spread, 3.5, and the money line. 190 is pretty good. Yeah, I'm taking it.
Cool. We'll just keep count over the whole season to see how our records add up. I think we had a pretty good week 1. We didn't look yet, but we'll put the graphic up on the screen for this video, and hopefully we can beat that with these week 2 picks. All right, y'all.
We will catch you later on. Remember to follow, subscribe, and all the above on our YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. Take a look at the code in the top right corner and proceed from there.